Look, this is very good sum. Very good sum. Always insist on the figure which I am drawing on the board. Okay? I'll just make it very perfect and it will include all those information which you require. In the textbook, many informations are missing. You will never have confidence while solving the sums from textbook. Better you practice this. Okay? It is complete. Look. Again we take one triangle. Which one? P, Q, R. Fine. Let this vector PQ be vector A. Let this vector QR be vector B. Let this vector RP be vector C. Suppose this angle is alpha, this angle is beta, this angle is gamma. So what is angle between vector A and vector B? Gamma. Don't say gamma. Before finding angle between any two vectors, you must place them on each other such that they have a common tail. Tail of this vector is here. Tail of this vector is here. These two tails are different. This is not the way to find out angle between two vectors. What you should do, either you should shift this or you should shift this. Let me shift this one. Come on. I just shift this vector. Look here in the same direction. This way. So tell me everybody, what is this? What is this? Direction of vector A. Say, what is this? Direction of vector A. Sure? Sure? What is this here? Direction of vector A. Say. Direction of vector A. Sure? What is this? Direction of vector B. And now you can see, for vector A also tail is here. For vector B is also tail is there only na. Now still it has two angles between them. One is inner and one is outer. Outer is this. Outer is this. Correct? But inner angle is always smaller. Inner angle is always smaller. That is to be taken as angle between two vectors. Angle between two vectors. So this inner angle is angle between this and this, means between vector A and vector B. Okay, fine. Now if this is gamma, then is this not supplementary to this? Addition of these two has to be pi radian. Has to be. So what is the remaining angle, everybody? Pi minus gamma. Say. Pi minus gamma. That is angle between directions of vector A and vector B. Got it? 180 degrees, nothing but pi radian. 180 degrees, nothing but pi radian. Tell me how much is this angle? How much is this angle? This much is how much? This much is how much? 180. Out of 180. Out of 180. Come on. If you subtract this gamma, out of 180 degree, that is pi. If you subtract gamma, what is the remaining angle? So what is the angle between vector and vector B? Don't say gamma. Don't say gamma. Pi minus gamma. Say pi minus gamma. Similarly, tell me. Extend this vector. Just its direction. Does its direction. So what is this, everybody? Come on. Direction of. What is this direction of? So if this is alpha, then what will be this? It will give you angle between vector B and vector C. What is this? Direction of vector C. What is this? Direction of vector A. If this angle is beta, how much is this? Pi minus beta, which is angle between vector C and vector A. Correct? Repeat it. Angle between vector and vector B. Everybody. Angle between vector B, vector C. Angle between vector C, vector A. Use this result which you proved in the previous sum. Magnitude of cross product between two given vectors is equal to double then area of that triangle whose two sides are those two vectors. Correct? Come on. If somebody takes these and these as two sides, correct? Then he will write this result this way. Magnitude of everybody, vector A cross, it is double then. It is, speak out here, double then area of triangle PQR. Double then area of triangle PQR. But somebody takes these two as two sides. Then also, because triangle is same. Because triangle is same. So its area is fixed. Area is fixed. Once area is fixed, its double value is also fixed. Okay, you cannot change it for a given triangle. Area has to be fixed. So if somebody takes these two as two adjacent sides, then magnitude of vector B cross vector C, magnitude of vector B cross vector C will be also double than area of same triangle. Double than area of same triangle. And if somebody takes these and these as two sides, then magnitude of vector C cross vector A will be also double than area of same triangle. Correct? So it is something like A equal to B equal to C equals to D. A equal to B equal to C equal to D. So all these three values are equal to this fourth value. Anna? Yes. Fine. Now tell me. What is magnitude of vector A cross vector B? Magnitude of vector A cross vector B? AB. AB. But what is that theta? Angle between vector A and vector B. Angle between vector A and vector B. That's why I have written here pi. Come on, magnitude of vector B cross vector C. By definition, B, C, sine of angle between them. B into C into sine of angle between them. Angle between vector B and vector C, how much it is? That's what I am writing here. Come on, that equals to magnitude of vector C cross vector A. C into A into sine of angle between them. C into A into sine of angle between them. Angle between vector C and vector A, how much it is? That's what I am writing here, pi minus theta. Now in this article, today only we will see that sine of pi minus gamma comes out to be sine gamma. Comes out to be sine gamma. How I am showing you. Here sine of pi minus alpha comes out to be sine alpha. Here sine of pi minus beta comes out to be sine beta. So what is this value, everybody? Sine gamma. Say sine gamma. Come on, this value is sine alpha and this value is sine beta. Come on, A into B as it is. Come on, B into C as it is. Come on, C into A also as it is. What I am doing now? I am dividing each term by A into B into C. Come on. A into B into C. Divide each term by A into B into C. Look constantly on the board. Come on. I am dividing each term by A into B into C. Here also. A into B into C. Here also. A into B into C. Here also. A into B into C. What you can cancel? A ones are A. B ones are B. B ones are B. C ones are C. C ones are C. A ones are A. What is left out? You write this first. Write this first. Sin alpha upon A. Clear? Then sin beta upon B. Sin gamma upon C. Any problem? This is your final answer. It's not mentioned in the textbook for your kind knowledge. This is known as sine rule. Sine rule for a triangle. Sine rule for a triangle. Can you describe it in words? Sine rule in words. What are alpha, beta, gamma here? Inner angles. Say inner angles of triangle. Inner angles of triangle. So for alpha, what is the sine alpha? It's a sine value. It's a sine value. And what is A? Side opposite to alpha. Side opposite to alpha. And similarly, side opposite to beta is B. Side opposite to gamma is C. Correct? Ratio of sine value of any inner angle of a triangle to the opposite side to that angle remains constant. Remains constant. Whatever is this ratio, come on, same is this ratio, same is this. Such a rule is called sine rule. I repeat, ratio of, say,
ratio of
sine value of any inner angle of a triangle to the side opposite to that angle remains constant. Simple. This rule is called sine rule. Sine rule. Got it? Please remember. Now this is a very good sum. Super. Vector A dot vector B cross vector C is found to be equal to 3 by 3 determinant Ax, Ay, Az, Bx, By, Bz, Cx, Cy, Cz. Correct? Shall I solve it or should I give you as a homework? If you are ready to find out the answer at home, then I am ready to solve it here. If you are not ready to do homework, then I also will not do it. Okay? Let me do it. It's a bit difficult. Look. I start with left side. Vector A dot vector B cross vector C. Don't write, just look here. You just try to inspect whether I am writing properly or not. Be good spectator. Come on, vector A dot vector B cross vector C. Okay. Vector A in 3 dimensions. Ax I hat plus Ay j hat plus Az A hat. Look carefully where I am writing X, Y and Z. Well below. Not in the same line. Okay. Then dot. Come on. Vector B cross vector C. Vector B cross vector C. Can you write like this? Vector B cross vector C.
Yes.
Can I write vector B cross vector C this way? Look. Vector B cross vector C. Can I write 3 by 3 determinant? 3 by 3 I hat, J hat, K hat, Bx, By, Bz, Cx, Cy, Cz. Sure? Now, dot product with vector B cross vector C. But vector B cross vector C is this much. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I just take the expansion now. Expansion of this. Come on, with I hat. Tell me. By Cz. Correct. By Cz. Minus Bz. Fine. Then minus Cz. Very good. Into Bx Cz. Correct. Plus Cz. Then Bx Cy. Minus By Cz. Correct. Okay. Fine. Now tell me. Look here. Take now. Just use distributive law. First term dot product with entire second bracket plus second term dot product with entire second bracket plus third term dot product with entire second bracket. Correct? But I am not writing all the terms. Those whose values are 0, why should I write? I should write only those terms which are remaining. Which are
remaining.
Look, ax into this I am writing. Ax into this. Because I had dot, I had is 1. I had dot, I is 1. So let me write this into this. Ax into, come on, bycz minus bzcy. Correct? But then I had dot j had 0. I had dot k had 0. J had dot I had 0. J had dot j had 1. Plus minus minus ay into this. Ay into this. Bx, come on, cz minus bzcx, correct. And now tell me, j hat dot j hat is 1. J hat dot k hat 0. K hat dot I hat 0. K hat dot j hat 0. And k hat dot k hat is 1. Az into these, come on, plus az into, come on, bxcy minus bycx. Now tell me, if here it is I hat into this, correct? Here minus j hat into this, here plus k hat into this, then it is nothing but expansion of this, correct? Instead of I hat, what do you get? Ax.
Ax.
Then here I should write Ax. Instead of j hat, what do I get? Ay. So here I should write Ay. And instead of k hat, what do I get?
Az.
So here I should write Az. And then it will give you this. Ax, Ay, Az, Bx, By, Bz, Cx, Ay. Wait. You don't need to trust me. You don't need to trust me. You must verify. Let me write it first. Ax, Ay, Az. Come on. Bx, By, Bz. Cx, Cy, Cz. Now just do one thing. I have written this equal to this. You just verify whether this is equal to this or not. Correct? Simple. Plus, minus, plus. Remember now?
Yes.
With plus x, what will be there? bycz minus bzcy. Here it is. Ax into bycz minus bzcy. With minus ay, what will be there in multiplication? bxcz minus bzcx. bxcz minus
bzcx.
with plus az, what will be there in multiplication? bxcy minus bycx. Simple. So this is equal to this, and ultimately this is left hand side, this is your right hand side. So components of first vector, they come in first row. Then here it is dot, here it is dot, mind well, and here it is cross. Components of second vector come in
Second row.
components of vector come in
Third row.
Suppose it is vector p dot vector q cross vector r. Vector p dot vector q cross vector. Suppose then that equals to what? 3 by 3 determinant px, py, pz, cx, qs, qy, qz. Then I say 3 by 3 determinant px, py, pz, qs, qy, qz, cx, cy. 3 by 3 determinant px, py, pz, qx, qy, qz, rs, ry, rz. Right on. To you, not only for all the 4 semesters, but especially for A group students till they finish their education in any branch of engineering, this will be useful to them. Okay? So just be prepared for that. Okay? Just consider a circle having center as point O, that is origin, having radius 1 unit, might be 1 centimeter, might be 1 meter, whatever it is, 1. Okay, we call it unit circle. Unit circle is that circle whose center is origin and whose radius is 1 unit. Fine. As usual, come on everybody, this one is positive x-axis, this one is negative x-axis, vertically upwards positive y-axis, vertically downwards negative y-axis. What is a plane? Plane passing through x and y-axis. It is called xy plane. Xy plane. Right now it is surface of board. Surface of board itself is a plane. Now that plane is divided into 4 equal parts. Now this is first part between positive x-axis and positive y-axis. We call it first quadrant. QUA, DRA and D. First quadrant. Okay. Part between positive y-axis and negative x-axis, it is called second quadrant. Between negative x-axis and negative y-axis, it is third quadrant. Between negative y-axis and positive x-axis, it is fourth quadrant. Simple? Fine. Now, we take this OX line as reference line. Any angle we will measure with this reference line, and that too anti-clockwise. Okay? So if you move anti-clockwise this way, then anti-clockwise this way, then angle will increase. That's why it is plus. Suppose you move this way, that is clockwise. Angle will decrease. So I'm writing minus. Let me start from point A. Okay? What are the coordinates of point A? Firstly, you should write x coordinate. Secondly, you should write y coordinate. X coordinate is this much distance, and it is nothing but radius. Radius is how much? 1 unit. And for any point on x-axis, y coordinate has to be 0. What are the coordinates of this point? Minus 1, 0. Because this point is located on negative x-axis, its x coordinate must be negative. For any point on x-axis, common y coordinate is 0. For a point on y-axis, x coordinate must be 0. And this much is radius, which is 1 meter. For a point on positive axis, y coordinate must be positive. Similarly, coordinates of this point, come on, 0, minus 1. Because it is the point on negative axis, its y coordinate must be negative. And for a point on y axis, x coordinate must be 0. Correct? Fine. Now, we select one point on this circle, say point P. It has two coordinates, come on, x, y. How will you get x component? How will you get x coordinate? Draw one perpendicular. Correct? Then this much distance is going to give you x coordinate. And this much distance will give you y coordinate. What is the basic meaning of x coordinate? Perpendicular distance from y-axis. X coordinate means what? Perpendicular distance from y-axis is this much. And what do you mean by y coordinate? Perpendicular distance from x-axis. Very good. Fine. Suppose this angle is theta. Angle POX I'm taking as theta. Find out cos theta. In this triangle, right angle triangle, find out cos theta. Cos theta is adjacent side to theta, that is x, upon hypotenuse, So hypotenuse is opposite to right angle, that is r. Okay, adjacent upon hypotenuse. Simple. So what is x now? Transfer this. X is r cos theta. X is r cos theta. Find out sin theta. Opposite to theta, that is y. upon hypotenuse is opposite to triangle, that is R. Opposite upon hypotenuse. Find out why. Find out why. Take this here. R sin theta. Say.
R sin theta.
Here it is. Y equals to R sin theta. But radius is right now only 1. So put R equal to 1, then you will get cos theta. Put R equal to 1, you will get sin theta. Anna? So for any trigonometric point taken on the unit circle, its coordinates can be written as cos theta, comma sin theta. But this is true for unit circle. True for unit circle. Fine. If it is not unit circle and if it is circle of radius r, you may write it as r cos theta, comma r sin theta. Simple. Now tell me. Remember these many values. For angle theta, come on, 0 degree, 30 degree, 45 degree, 60 degree, 90 degree, 180 degree, 270 degree, and 360 degree. Don't you know pi radian is 180 degree? Pi radian is 180 degree. Look, pi radian is 180 degree. Okay? So just divide by 2. Divide by 2 on both the sides. Pi by 2 will be 180 upon the base is 90 degree. That is 90. Divide by 4 on both the sides. Pi by 4 will be 180 upon both, that is 45 degree. Pi by 3, 180 upon 3, that is 60 degree. Pi by 6, 180 upon 6, 30 degree. Multiply by 2. 2 pi will be 360 degree. 2 pi radian is 360 degree. Come on. 30 degrees everybody. 45 degrees, 60 degrees, 90 degrees, 180 degrees, and then if you multiply by 1.5 to this 180 degree, 1.5, that is 3 by 2, then is 3 pi by 2. Come on. 3 pi by 2. Then when you multiply by 2 on both the sides, then you are getting what? Pi radian is 380 degree. When you multiply by 2, it is 2 pi radian equals to 180 multiplied by 2, that is 360 degree. Correct? 180 multiplied by 1.5. 180 multiplied by this will give you 270. And when pi is multiplied by 1.5, it is 1.5 pi. 1.5 is nothing but 3 by 2. Okay? Fine. Now remember, sine 0 is 0. Sine 30 degrees is 1 by 2. Sine 45 degrees, sine 60 degrees, root 3 by 2. Sine 90 degrees, 1. Sine 180 degrees, 0. Sine 180 is here, correct? Sine means y coordinates. Sine 180 is 0. Cos 180 will be minus 1, like that. Come on. Sine 270, it is minus 1. Sine 360 is 0. Cos 0 is 1. Cos 30 degree is sine 60 degrees root 3 by 2. Cos 45 degrees 1 by 2. Cos 60 degrees sine 30 degrees 1 by 2. Cos 90 is 0. Cos 180 degree is minus 1. Cos 270 degree is 0. And cos 360 degree is 1. I'm showing you how. Here you take angle 0. Okay? Angle made by OA with OX. Angle made by OA with OX. 0. Say 0. Fine. Then when you write 0 here, come on. When you write 0 here, cos 0 is 1. Cos 0 is 1. When it is 0 here, sin 0 is 0. Firstly it is x coordinates, secondly it is y coordinate. X coordinate is given by cos, y coordinate is given by sin. Okay. Now take this as 0 degree here. Go this way. Go this way, come here. Correct? Anticlockwise. Correct? So this angle is how much everybody? 90 degree or pi by 2 radian. 90 degree or? So what is cos 90 everybody? 0. Sin 90 is 1. Go here. Correct? What is this angle? What is this angle? 180 degree or pi radian. 180 degree or? What is cos pi minus 1? Sin pi is 0. Go this way. Correct? Here it is 3 pi by 2. 3 pi by 2 is as good as 270 degree. Cos 3 pi by 2 is 0. Sin 3 pi by 2 is minus 1. Fine. Go this way. Correct? One full circulation. One full circulation. One rotation or one revolution. and it is 2 pi radian. Cos 2 pi is 1, sin 2 pi is 0. Got it? Fine. Now, basic 6 functions you must have remembered. Cos theta, sin theta. What is tan theta? Sin theta upon cos theta. Cot theta is? So cot theta is nothing but 1 upon tan theta. 1 upon tan theta. Cosec theta is 1 upon sin theta. Sec theta is 1 upon cos theta. But in practice, we will require these 3 very much. Okay? These 3 hardly it will come in use. Hardly. Perhaps not anywhere. Come on. Cos theta, sin theta, tan theta. Okay? Fine. Now look. As long as you are here in the first quadrant, angle should be taken, come on, between 0 and 90 degree. When you are here in the second quadrant, angle should be taken between 90 degree and 180 degree. When you are in the third quadrant, angle should be taken between 180 degree and 270 degree. When you are in the fourth quadrant, angle should be taken between 270 degree and 360 degree. Okay? Let us start with some of the rules. Suppose I want to find out sine of pi by 2 plus theta. Sine of pi by 2 plus theta. How to find out that? Look, there is a formula. Sine of alpha plus beta. Then it is sine alpha cos beta plus cos alpha sin beta. But if you take sine of alpha minus beta, then sine alpha cos beta minus cos alpha sin beta. Here, if you take upper sine, then here also upper sine. Here, if you take lower sine, then here also lower sine. Correct? So now take the alpha as pi by 2. Look here. Alpha as pi by 2. And beta as theta. Okay? Do that. Write down everybody. On the last page you write down. Sine of alpha plus beta. Sine of alpha plus beta. Sine of alpha plus beta. Right down. On right hand side, sine alpha cos beta plus cos alpha sin beta. Written. Take alpha equal to pi by 2 and beta equal to theta. On both the sides. Take alpha equal to pi by 2, beta equal to theta. When you take alpha equal to pi by 2, alpha equal to pi by 2, look here, cos pi by 2 is 0. Cos pi by 2 is 0. So this part will be 0. Na? And alpha is pi by 2 and beta is theta. Sin pi by 2 is 1. Sin pi by 2 is 1. So 1 into cos theta. Say
1 into cos theta.
That is
cos theta.
Now tell me, every time we have to write this formula, every time we have to think of what is alpha, what is beta, then we will see on the right hand side, then we will simplify, then we get the answer. It's a very long procedure here. Don't do that. I am showing you very easy way. If it is pi by 2 plus something, pi by 2, so pi by 2 is here, correct? And plus means anticlockwise. Plus means so pi by 2 plus. Come on, pi by 2 plus. When you cross pi by 2, you are here in second quadrant. Remember, all functions are positive here. All functions are positive in first quadrant. Here only sine and cosec. Sine and cosec. Naturally, when sine is positive, then cosec has to be positive. Then here tan and cot. Tan theta is 1 upon cot theta. When tan theta is positive, cot theta also will be positive. Here only cos and sec. When I say here tan and cot are positive, meaning they are remaining or negative? Remaining are negative. Like that. Now tell me. Pi by 2 plus. Look here. Pi by 2 plus. Pi by 2. So when you cross this, where you are? Second quadrant. In second quadrant, look. You are looking for sine value. In second quadrant, sine function is positive. So you should start with positive sign. You should start with positive sign. Here. Come on. Positive. Say. And then remember, if it is coefficient of pi by 2, if it is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, dash, dash, dash. In short, coefficient of pi by 2 is odd number. Say
Odd number.
Say
Odd number.
Then sine should be converted into cos. Cos should be converted into sine. Tan should be converted into cot. Cos should be converted into tan. Sec should be converted into cosec. Cosec. And cosec should be converted into sec. But cosec and sec we don't require. Okay? You remember, sine should be converted into cos. Cos should be converted into sine. Tan should be converted into cot. Cos should be converted into tan. Simple. When if coefficient of pi by 2 is 1, 3, 5, 7, dash, 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 odd number. But if coefficient of pi by 2 is 2, 4, 6, 8, even number, don't change the function. Don't change the function. Simple. Tell me, what is the coefficient of pi by 2? Right now it is 1. Right now it is
1.
Coefficient here it is 1. 1 means odd number. So sine should be converted into
Cos.
and cosine of this angle. Cosine of this. So are you getting this answer very urgently? Correct? Without using this formula. Got it? Now suppose I want cos of pi by 2 plus theta. So pi by 2 plus, look, pi by 2, pi by 2,
Plus.
where you are? But in second quadrant, cos function is negative. Cos function is
Negative.
because these two only are positive. So cos is negative. Cos is
Negative.
that's what I'm putting.
Minus.
Correct? What is coefficient of pi by 2? 1 means odd number. Then cos should be converted into
Sine.
sine of theta. Even if you use this formula, there is a formula for cos also. Cos of alpha plus beta, then this cos alpha cos beta minus sine alpha sine beta. Here upper sign is positive, here upper sign is negative. When you take this lower sign, then here lower sign is positive. Here lower sign is negative, then here lower sign is positive, like that. When you use this formula, then also you get the same answer. Better adopt this policy, which is very short, easy. Come on, sine of pi by 2 minus theta. Sine of pi by 2 minus. Minus means this way, clockwise. So you are in first quadrant. In first quadrant, sine function is positive, so with plus sign. And tell me, coefficient of pi by 2 is 1. 1 means odd number. Then sine should be converted into cos of this. Correct? Come on, cos of pi by 2 minus theta. Pi by 2 minus theta. First quadrant. Cos function is positive. We start with positive sign. Coefficient of pi by 2 is 1. Odd number. Cos should be converted to sine. Suppose I want this. Sine of 120 degree. 120. Come on, 120. Can you rewrite? Can you rewrite 90 plus 30? Can you rewrite?
Yes.
Now tell me. 90 plus. 90 plus. So, second quadrant. Sine function is positive. So, with plus sign. Coefficient of pi by 2. Pi by 2 means 90. Pi by 2 means
90.
Coefficient 90 is right now 1. 1 means odd number. Sine should be converted to cos of 30 degree. Cos 30 degree is sine 60 degree. Cos 30 degree is
Sine 60.
and it's how much? Root 3 by 2. Cos 30 degree is how much? Root 3 by 2. Correct? Cos 120 degree. Suppose I want to find out. Come on. 90 plus 30. Say
90 plus 30.
is 120. Come on. 90 plus 90. So you are in second quadrant. Come on. Cos function is
Negative.
so I should write negative sign. And then coefficient of 90 degree is 1. 1 means odd number. Cos should be converted to sine. Sine of 30 minus as it is sine 30 degree is 1 by 2. Then cos of 225 degrees. Suppose. Can you rewrite? 180 plus 45. 180 plus
45.
yes. 180 plus. Look. 180 plus 180. You are in third quadrant. Cos function is negative. Cos function is cos function is. I should write minus sign. Then 180 degree mind where? 180 degree means what? 92. 180 means 92. 2 is even number. 2 is
Even number.
Don't change the function. Leave cos as it is. Cos of 45 degree. Cos of 45 degree is how much? 1 by root 2. So we attach with minus sign. So it is minus 1 by root 2. Suppose I want to have sine of 315 degree. Sine of
350.
can you write 270 plus 45? It will give you this value. Now 270 plus. Look, 270. So you are in fourth quadrant where sine function is negative. Sine function is negative. Sine function is negative. And because it is 270 degree, it is 90 to 3. Say 90 to 3. Odd number. Sine should be converted into cos. Cos of 45. Minus as it is, cos 45 degrees 1 by 2. See, it is not necessary to add every time. You can have this value by subtraction also. By suppose somebody takes this way 315 degrees, somebody takes this way 360 minus 45. 360 minus 45. No problem here, no problem. 360 minus 360 minus. So you are in fourth quadrant where sine function is negative. Sine function is negative. So I should write negative. And 360 degree means what? 90 to 4. Say 90 to 4. 4 means what? So I should not change the function. Then sine as it is. Sine of 45. Minus as it is. What is sine 45? 1 by 2. Here also minus 1 by 2. Here also. So don't bother whether to add or to subtract. Don't bother. Okay. Fine. Sine 260 degrees. Suppose. Can I rewrite sine of 270 degree minus 10 degree? 270 minus 270. So I am in third quadrant. Okay. Then in third quadrant sine function is negative. 270 degree. 90 to 3. Say 3 means what? Odd number. Then sine should be converted to cos of 10 degree. Cos of 10 degree. But in the log table which will be provided to you in the examination, it doesn't contain cosine. Table of cosine, it doesn't contain. Even in the textbook also there is no table of natural cosine. So what we should do? We should convert cos into sine. Cos into sine. Why you are worried? Look here. Cos 10 degree. Cos. Say first of all cos theta. Cos theta is nothing but sine 90 minus theta. Sine 90 minus theta. Instead of theta you take 10 degree. Take 10 degree. Then cos 10 degree. Cos 10 degree. Sine 90 minus 10 degree. Sine 90 minus 10. Come on. Cos 10 degree. Sine 90 minus 10. 90 minus 10 is what, yaar? 80 degree. Say 80. Minus as it is. And sine of 80 degree you can find out from table of natural sine. Table of natural sine is there in the log table. In the textbook also it is there. Table of natural sine. Sine 80 degree. I hope it is 0.9848. 0.9848. Exactly. Sine 80 degree. Just adjacent value to 80 degree in the table of natural sine. Getting? 0.9848. 0.9848. Wait. Last one. Look, tangent of suppose I want 120 degree. Come on, 120 means what? 90 plus 30. 90 plus 30. Now tell me, 90 plus 90, second quadrant, tangent is negative. So I should write minus. And when it is 90 degree, the coefficient is 1, means odd number. 10 should be converted into cot. Cot 30 degree means what? Cos theta is what? Cos theta upon sin theta. So cos 30 degree upon minus sin as it is. Cos 30 is what? Root 3 by 2. Sin 30 is 1 by 2. 2 will cancel, giving you minus 2. Tangent of 315 degrees. Suppose I can write 360 minus 45. 360 minus 45. 360 minus. So fourth quadrant tangent function is negative. So I should write minus. Come on. 360 means what? 90 to 4. 90 to 4 means even number. I should not change the function. Tangent as it is. Tangent of 45. Don't you know tan 45? It is 1. Because it is sin 45 on cos 45. 1 upon root 2 upon 1 upon root 2, that is 1. So it is ultimately minus 1. Remember, principal period of sine and cosine function are 2 pi radian. So what will happen? Sin theta will be just equal to sine of 2 pi plus theta. Sin theta equals to sine of 2 pi plus theta. Sine of 2 pi plus theta. You know why? Look, when you start with this point, and when you are considering addition of 2 pi radian, addition of 2 pi radian means what? 360 degree. 360 degree means what? One full circulation. One full circulation. When you just complete one circulation and you are coming back to the same point should have same coordinates. Same point should have same coordinates. So same x coordinate and same y coordinate. Means same cos theta and same sin theta. Simple. And this is true for more number of rotations also. For more number of rotations. So you may add 2 pi with this. 2 pi plus 2 pi, come on, 4 pi, then 6 pi, then 8 pi, then 10 pi. If you want to include all these values in a single equation, you may write this. Sin theta equals to sine of 2k pi plus theta. 2k pi plus theta, where k is 0, 1, 2, 3, dash. Similarly for cos also. Okay? And two very little formula. Sine of minus theta is found to be minus sin theta, and cos of minus theta is found to be cos theta. Come on, sine of minus theta is equal to minus sin theta. Cos of minus theta equals to, how to get it? Simple. Sine of minus theta, na? You take 0 minus theta. Minus theta, can you write 0 minus theta?
Yes.
So take alpha equal to 0 and beta equal to minus theta. Got it? Got it? Or use this formula. Sine of alpha minus beta. Sine of
Alpha minus beta.
okay, then here it is minus, na? Then minus theta means what? 0 minus theta. Say
0 minus theta.
so alpha should be taken 0 and beta should be taken theta. But use this lower sign, okay? So sine of 0 minus theta. Here it is sine 0. Sine 0 is 0.
0.
So this double cancel. And minus, come on. This is theta. This alpha is 0 and this is theta. Cos 0 is 1 and this is theta. So it is minus sine theta. Say
Minus sin theta.
similarly, cos of minus theta. Cos of
Minus theta.
you will take minus theta as 0 minus theta. Say
0 minus.
so cos of 0 minus theta. Say
0 minus.
so this is 0 and this is theta. Correct? Come on, this is 0. This is theta. So cos 0 is 1 and cos theta. Fine. But when you take alpha equal to 0 here, this part will be 0. So it is only cos it. It is only cos it. So simple. What is called average speed? We had seen earlier. Let us recall. Distance traveled by a body per unit time is called its average speed. If you want to write formula, then average speed is equal to distance traveled, which is also known as path length, upon time taken. Simple. And now we go for average velocity. Average velocity. What is called average velocity? It is to be shown by symbol average of vector v. It is a vector quantity. It is defined as displacement undergone by a body per unit time. That is displacement upon time. Displacement upon time. Okay? Displacement is nothing but change in position vector. So I should write vector delta r. Displacement per unit time is called average velocity. What about instantaneous velocity? Just remove this sign of average and write only vector v. Instantaneous means at a particular instant of time. On a time scale, look here. On this time scale, suppose this is instant t, okay, and this is some later instant of time, t plus delta t. Now if you want any value at this particular moment, then what you should do, the time interval between these two instants should be reduced. It should be made smaller and smaller, smaller and smaller, smaller and smaller. So mathematically you can write limit delta t tends to 0. Right? And then if you are finding this average velocity with this limit, you are going to find that average velocity between two instants of time. One is t and another is very close to that, very close to that. So these two instants of time are very close to each other. So as if you are finding that velocity almost at this instant. And because you are finding velocity at a particular instant, we call it instantaneous velocity. Remember, instantaneous velocity is average velocity only, but Now this time interval is to be taken extremely small, differentially small, substantially small. Mathematically, limit delta t tends to 0. Such an extremely small interval of time, you can say infinitesimal small interval of time, should be shown by symbol dt, and in that extremely small time interval, displacement undergone by the body I am showing by symbol vector dr. So altogether it is vector dr by dt, vector dr by dt. That is d by dt of a vector r, d by dt of a vector r. Okay. What do you mean by d by dt? From physics point of view, time rate of change of, time rate of change of. From mathematics point of view, this is derivative with respect to time. And d by dt we also show by symbol of dot, symbol of dot. So you may write vector r dot, vector r dot. That is d by dt of vector r, d by dt of vector r. Okay. Don't you know? Vector r in two dimensions can be written, position vector can be written as x I hat plus y j hat. Suppose a particle moves from initial position, say point number 1, having coordinates x1, y1, to final position point number 2, having coordinates x2, y2. Just write position vectors for both initial as well as final position. Come on, from this position vector for initial position, let it be vector r1, then instead of x, what you should write? x1, instead of y, y1. So x1 I hat plus y1 j hat. This is for, this is in two dimensions, don't go on adding. Only two components are there. What was the title of this chapter? Motion in a plane. Come on. x1 I hat plus y1 j hat. Fine. This is position vector for initial position. Similarly, position vector for final position. Come on. x2 I hat plus y2 j hat. Fine. Now suppose I want to have change in position vector. Change is always final minus initial. This minus this. Vector r2 minus vector r1. So when you take this minus this, on the right hand side it is this minus this. Come on, I had common inside the bracket x2 minus x1 plus j hat common into bracket y2 minus y1. What is this? Change in x coordinates. Change in x coordinates. That will be delta x into I hat. What is this? Change in y. That will be delta y into j hat. What is this? Change in position vector. Change in position vector. That will be vector delta r. Divide each term by delta t. Divide each term by delta t. Here, here, here. Divide by delta t. Vector delta by delta t equals to delta x upon delta t into I hat plus delta y upon delta t into j hat. Just take limit delta t tends to 0 on both the sides in each term. Come on, limit delta t tends to 0, limit delta t tends to 0, limit delta t tends to 0. Limit delta t tends to 0, vector delta by delta t. Limit delta t tends to 0, vector delta by delta t. This is nothing but vector dr by dt. Say, so this is nothing but vector dr by dt. Similarly, in the language of calculus, this is nothing but dx by dt into I hat plus, come on, this one is dy by dt into j hat. But vector dr by dt, vector, this is nothing but vector v. So this is nothing but vector v. And can't you write any vector in two dimensions in terms of its mutually perpendicular components? For example, vector A, ax I hat plus ay j hat. Vector B, bx I hat plus by j hat. Similarly, vector B, bx I hat plus by j hat. Correct? Compare these two. Vector B is already vector dr by dt, so this left hand sides are equal. So right hand sides also must be equal. Then coefficient of I at, what is it here? Vx. And here coefficient of I it is dx by dt. So Vx must be dx by dt. Come on everybody, Vx must be
dx by dt.
Vx must be
dx by dt.
that is d by dt of x, that is derivative of x with respect to time. You can just show it by this symbol x dot. Say
x dot.
Similarly, if you compare these two, come on, coefficient of z is Vy, coefficient of z is dy by dt. So Vy must be dy by dt. Vy must be
dy by dt.
that is d by dt of derivative of y with respect to time. You can show it by this symbol y dot. Say
y dot.
suppose vector v in plane, in xy plane, suppose it is in this direction and it makes angle theta with positive x-axis. Now this vector can be resolved into two mutually perpendicular components. This vector plus this vector. Come on, this vector, it will give you this vector. Correct? Now out of these two components, come on, this is the component parallel to y-axis. Parallel to, we call it y component. This is the component parallel to x-axis. We call it x component. Just find out now tan theta. Tan theta. What is it? Opposite upon adjacent. Opposite upon?
Adjacent.
Opposite to theta. Vy. Upon adjacent to theta.
Dx.
If you know these two components, you can place their values, you can find out tan theta. And from tan theta, using table of natural tangents in the log table, you can find out angle theta. Okay? Apply Pythagoras theorem. Pythagoras theorem. Square of hypotenuse. Square of will be equal to summation of squares of remaining two mutually perpendicular sides. So v square must be equal to everybody. Vx square plus vy square. Come on, v square equals to
dx square plus dy square.
take square root on both the sides. Come on, here v equals to under root of vx square plus vy square. Simple. Come on, v equals to under root of vx square plus vy square.